Harrison Graham here with Chat Sports as we continue our coverage here from Radio Row in Phoenix, Arizona. We are now joined from Steelers legend. It's Hines Ward, two-time Super Bowl champion. Hines, we've got a big Steelers audience, and we're going to ask you about the state of the Steelers here in a couple moments. But I do want to ask you about what's going on with the XFL. You are the head coach and general manager of the San Antonio Brahmas. How did you get involved with the XFL? And are you looking forward to this adventure here in the next few weeks as the XFL gets underway here?
Oh, I'm all in right now. This is awesome, man. To have the opportunity, I'm blessed. I'm humble at getting the opportunity to sit in the chair. It's been valuable for me, just not only learning the X's and O's, but really understanding how to kind of organize the whole thing. You're not only just a head coach, but you're the kind of the CEO of the whole franchise. Putting the roster together, creating a schedule, how you want to run things. It's been awesome just to be a part of that. And also at the end of the day, it's all about helping these players fulfill their dreams of one day getting back to the NFL and not only getting back, but staying up there. So getting the chance to develop these players as well as, my growth as a coach, being a head coach, man, it's just been valuable opportunity for me, man. And I'm making the most of it, man. I'm loving it each and every day. So I'm super excited. Can't wait for the season to start February 19th.
I think a lot of people were surprised last year when you interviewed for the Houston Texans head coaching opportunity. How serious are you about wanting to be potentially an NFL head coach in the future?
For me, I've always, and when I did the interview process, I just wanted to know what the interview process existed. Like, how was it? So when the Houston Texans called, I was like, hell, why not? Why not go down there and see what the whole process is all about? And they asked me tons of questions. And, for me, being blessed to be a part of a great organization for 14 years, been blessed to have two coaches and Hall of Fame Coach Cowher, soon to be Hall of Fame coach, and Mike Tomlin. I lived it. I saw it. I learned what it takes to have success. And those two coaches are a great leader of men. And for me, for over half of my career, I was voted captain by guys that are in the Hall of Fame, guys that are Pro Bowlers, all pros. And for me, that was my biggest accomplishment. So as far as checking off the box, if I can lead men, I think I answered that by being, one of the team captains for over half of my career. And so getting that opportunity was awesome for me. But yes, I do want to coach. I love helping players and being able to put everything that I learned from my 14 years in Pittsburgh. I only know it one way. The standard is the standard. So it's kind of crazy because I preach the same messages as a player that Coach Cowher and Coach Tomlin preached to me. I find myself saying a lot of the things that they've said to me while I was a player. So, my team has been awesome to work with, trying to establish that culture, the same culture we had in Pittsburgh where everyone has value. So I was very blessed, and all the things that I've learned in my 14 years in Pittsburgh, I'm just trickling down to my own team here in San Antonio.
You mentioned playing both for Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin, two legendary coaches. Cowher in the Hall of Fame, Tomlin likely heading there one day, like you said. Tomlin, I think, is still somehow underappreciated on a national scale. I mean, even this year doesn't extend his streak of not having a losing season. What makes him so great as a coach, and how is he able to connect with players now entering a new era of Steelers football beyond the Ben Roethlisberger days?
I think for Mike Tomlin, I mean, the culture of accountability, it is what it is. He's not going to make excuses. He really doesn't care about outside noise, and that permeates through the team. When they were going through their low time, that team didn't blink. They just kept working their tails off and was getting better week by week. And you saw that in a young team. Being that the Steelers are so young, that team could have easily quit. And the fact that they didn't quit showed a lot of promise for a young team to keep battling the way they did and then salvage the season by finishing over 500. So I think that's a testament to Tomlin, being able to, doesn't waver from his, his mindset, doesn't let the team really buy into what the outside noise is really saying about him. I just think that's what makes him so special. And, my time with him, he held everybody accountable, regardless of if you're a veteran, a 10th year veteran or a rookie. You just had to come in and work your butt off. And that's what we saw in our Steelers.
You obviously play with Ben Roethlisberger for most of your career, and I think there's always uncertainty for a fan base when you go from a long-time starting quarterback, a future Hall of Famer, to a new quarterback. And obviously Kenny Pickett getting to play a lot as a rookie this year. And it seemed like things started to click, week 10, week 11, kind of the back half of the season. I'm wondering what you saw from the Steelers rookie here in 2022.
Well, I think it's unfair to really compare Kenny to Ben's situation. I mean, when Ben came into the league, we had a veteran group of guys. I mean, we had a veteran team. I mean, every position was loaded with veteran guys that were already Pro Bowlers, All Pros, and things like that. So when Ben came into it, it was really Ben, just don't mess it up. He had a phenomenal rookie year, going 15-1, went all the way to the NFC Championship. It's kind of unfair for fans to put Kenny in that position because the Steelers are so young. They're very talented, but they're very young as well. And the fact that, the way the season went and how that young team came together, I think it was a testament of Kenny, kind of grabbing the Bulls by the horn, going out there, competing each and every week, getting better each and every day. I just think that his future is very bright. The Steelers' future is very bright. I mean, you look at what George Pickens can do on the outside and the talented receiver core that they have to go along with Najee and, just try to solidify the up front on the offensive line. I look for big things from Pittsburgh next year, and Kenny having a better year than his rookie year. The more he gets comfortable with the playbook, the more he gets comfortable with the speed of the game. I think Kenny Pickett, he'll be fine. He's going to be all right. I like him. He's a good one.
Talking to Hines Ward here with Chat Sports. Hines, there seemed to be a split among the fan base about whether or not to retain Matt Canada, the offensive play caller. I'm wondering from, as you mentioned earlier, starting to really dive deeper into the X's and O's as a coach yourself. Are you a fan of keeping Canada? Is he the right guy to help groom Kenny Pickett as he takes kind of that next step into year 2 of his career?
Well, I'm not in the building, so it's hard for me to say. But if the quarterback has a nice rapport with him, and they did improve on the back half of the season, I can see why the Steelers probably would choose to probably just keep it going. There's so much you can build off the way the Pittsburgh Steelers finished the second part of the season. I think the years that we went to the Super Bowl, we had that similar run where we started playing good football towards the latter part of the year. You're taken to the off season, and Kenny's only going to get better. So, from the Steelers standpoint, from the outside looking in, I just think they factored in all of that, saying, hey, let's give him another year to see if Kenny improves and if the team can improve. And then, that warrants him staying for another year, how strong the Steelers finish the year out.
Got a couple more questions with Hines Ward here, but before we get to those, he is here thanks to the NFL Alumni Association and the Huddle Up Let's Talk Obesity campaign. Hines, wondering if you could spend a few moments to tell us the work you're doing with those guys.
Yeah, I teamed up to be a part of the campaign that educates our fans and, of course, former players about the impact of obesity in our health and wellness. Now being retired, I picked up a couple of pounds, and now I'm trying to lose it a little bit, sitting in the coach's chair. You're watching film all day, and you're just snacking all the time just to keep up and watching a lot of film work. But really, a lot of my teammates, former teammates, man, we always have this competition. Who's going to look good when we come back for those Super Bowl reunions and stuff like that. So being able to stay in shape, of course, we all want to live longer. Really, the campaign has helped so many guys really have that understanding and what it takes to lose weight and how to keep it off for long-term health. So I've been very blessed and honored that to join the campaign. And really, just understanding that obesity is a medical disease. It's not really a character flaw. There's so much resources out there that can help people with obesity, because if left untreated, there's so many complications like, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and high cholesterol, man. For me personally, I want everybody to really invest into themselves to be able to live as long as they possibly can and, and to live a great life. So I bought into it, starting my diet as well. Now that I'm in the coaching world, trying to get back to where I once was during my playing days. It's a big challenge for me, and I'm up for the challenge. And I just want fans and some of my former players to join the board to let's lose weight and live a healthier life and go from there.
Great message from Hines Ward. You can find out more information by going to huddleupobesity.org. We'll put that link in the comments and description of this video. All right, before we get your Super Bowl prediction, Hines, do want to ask about Chase Claypool. He gets traded to the Bears at the NFL trade deadline. What type of player is Chicago getting in the young wide receiver as they try to build around their quarterback in Justin Fields?
Just from the outside looking in, very talented. Chase, his size alone, the speed, his catch radius, and his athleticism, you just like, man, you just open your mouth like, wow, like this kid has everything that you want in a wide receiver. Sometimes I think with Chase, it became more about Chase and less about the team. I've always believed that, the team comes first before any individual accolades or anything like that. And I think it's a little more of maturity level on his part. He needs to grow up a little bit. But I understand. I love receivers that want the ball. I don't want a receiver that don't want the ball, but you have to do it in the confinements of the aspect of the team. It's about the team first. And if you just keep working on your craft, you'll eventually get better. So things didn't work out in Pittsburgh, but he's still a talented wide receiver. And hopefully with Justin Fields, who's a Georgia boy, man, I'm looking for big things out of Chase to be able to help him in his development and give him that playmaker that he needs on the outside for the Bears.
Before we let you go, spent your whole career with the Steelers. Are you obligated to root against Philadelphia on Sunday? How do you see this game playing out?
No, I'm cheering for the state of Pennsylvania. If Pittsburgh can't win it, then I'm cheering for Philadelphia to win it. Let's keep the Super Bowl titles in the state of Pennsylvania, and I'll be cheering on the Eagles to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
You heard it from the man himself. It's Hines Ward, Steelers legend. Hines, appreciate you joining us today, and enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Anytime. Appreciate it, guys.